Bashir is actually an MVE. This stands for the most valuable engineers in the community. This means that he's a very active member of our community. He's very helpful towards other members of the community. He's very skilled in writing technical articles, solving technical cases, and also he's a great presenter. This is his second time hosting a webinar. And I just want to thank you personally for hosting another webinar. The first one was great. If you guys were not able to attend, we have the webinar recording in the community. I can share the link if anyone is interested. Today we will have a new webinar on the transition of network engineers to multi-cloud. Actually, Bashir is a cloud expert. So basically he integrated network engineering with cloud, and he will explain later how these two can work together. So for now, I will let you start the presentation. I will mute my microphone, and in case anyone has any questions for me, you can use the chat box, and I'll take a look there. So thank you all for joining again. And I don't know, I see that people are asking if it's possible for your sound to be a bit more clear. I'm not sure if you can speak a bit more loudly, or let's test. Let's see if we can hear you clear enough. Yes.
Okay, sorry for that. Actually, I got muted, and the host was about to unmute me. I think the voice is okay now. If it is still not okay, I'll try to speak a little louder.
Personally, yes, I hear you clearly.
Okay, I think it's better now because sorry for the my throat. It is not okay, but I'll try to speak a little louder. Okay, I hope the voice is. If voice is okay for most of them, it's fine. If issue with someone, then definitely he need to check his connection. Okay, I hope it's good to go. So first of all, thank you everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, because we are having participants from different regions for different countries. Like I saw a message from Brazil, from Vietnam, from Africa, from America, and from Pakistan, and from different countries. So people from different countries with different time zones, I would like to say thank you because you are managing to attend this session on different time, and definitely Sri Lanka as well. So I cannot take name of every country, but I tried to take at least one name from every subcontinent or continents. So back to the topic. Today the topic is just slightly different and you can say unique in the sense that we tried to add two different topics into one. Like we know there is a field like IP network engineering, and there's a one field which is cloud. So we are trying to make a presentation on transition of network engineers to cloud. Why they want to do a transition? Is it really necessary, or is it beneficial? So and how can this transition can be possible? So this is all these topics which we will be discussing during this session. So this is slightly introduction what we are going to cover it, starting with the knowledge of which I discuss with a little lab session as well, and then Q&A session, and there is a reward session. Then you have questions in the last, and you can answer and you can win the prizes as well. So this is the main agenda for our webinar today. Definitely, this is the same thing. Acha, this is a little introduction about myself, what I do and what I did for the last 11 years. Meanwhile, I'll request you to scan this QR code because it's a little short question, so I get to know about my audience. So if you can scan this QR code, or I can share you the link. If you cannot scan QR code, it's a little two questions. It will help me to understand my audience and definitely for the presentation. So this is the link. You can access this link, and give your feedback. Meanwhile, uh, I try to have some little introduction. And let me know if you have done these courses, then we will be looking for some basic results. Okay, meanwhile you are filling this questions. I'll try to show you the roadmap of this webinar, because this will be going to a little longer, like an hour or half. So we will be covering 4 different sections. First of all, why do you think that network engineer can work better in the cloud? Like most of them, people are from the networking background, they have joined, or maybe they are from IT field, or maybe they are from software. That is what survey is all about. So if you just finish your survey, then I can check the result, what is the output of this small survey. And meanwhile, let me open. Okay, I can see there are most of the people from the networking background. Let me give you 2 minutes more, so we are good with the results. Okay, I think we are good to have the results. I'll show you the result as well, but just to give you the idea, like more around 60% are people from the networking background, 30% from pre-sales and sales, 10% from IT, and then students and something like that. So yeah, this is the link. Thank you, Alina. Let me show you the link as well. Okay, actually we are doing session online, so I tried to make it more interactive, because as Ma'am Alina said, this is the online session from the different people, so I tried to make it more interactive by your input, and the best way to make your input is like these questions, something like this. Okay, I'll come back to this slide again, but this is what currently we are having. Like mostly background, definitely it was. So it helps me to run my presentation very well. Which was regarding, which is very important. Let me show you this as well. Yeah, this was what was your goal for this webinar. So mostly people they say about learn about multi-cloud networking and then need of to know the latest trends of cloud something. But the good thing is that we will covering all these 4 parts in our presentation, or you can say webinar. So it will be good for you to understand what is your need. So back to the roadmap. As I mentioned you earlier that there are 4 phases. There are 4 phases, or you can say 4 parts in our presentation. We will be looking, for example, why do you think network engineer more excel in the cloud field? Anybody can answer in the chat box, so I can share my view as well. Then you keep on sending your messages on the chat box, so I'll try to read one by one as well. So, and the second part, what skills are required for the cloud networking? If I want to say that I want to be the part of the cloud networking and I want to work on the cloud networking, what skill set should I have? what are the topics which I need to know, what are the fields which I will be looking for. The third part, what actually network engineer do in the cloud networking or multi-cloud era. And then there are subtopics involved as well, like what is multi-cloud, what is multi-cloud challenges, and in the last, what are the choices. Right now, I can see from the last slide, like there are most people from networking engineers, some are from IT, some are from the sales side. So believe me, there is a lot of chances and opportunities in the cloud for everyone who is already participated in this webinar, because because you can say the network engineer is doing very well, like Mr. One has sent, because cloud is all about networking. This is very good point. So thank you, Mr. Ignotus. Pardon me if I spell you wrong, but thank you for your input. So there are people from sales, they are very good opportunity for them to be the cloud seller, because the cloud is the hot cake. And if you are the developer, there is a good chance if you for you as well. And definitely network engineers are the key person who runs the cloud. So we will be looking in the fourth part as well. And Mr. Redby, I don't know what his name or her name, but he used the mobile name. The cloud network is important because today's activity is done through internet. Yeah. And definitely Zahir, thank you. So what we think about this, these are the 4 points which makes a network engineer or the IT guy, or you can say the edge of the for him or her to excel in the cloud. Like this is the main strengths. For example, network architecture. You are very well aware of network architecture. Either you are working in IP core or PS core or whatever the field of network engineering. You know the architecture, how things are running, like what are the layers of networks, like access layer, core layer, and the aggregation layer. You know how things are integrated together. Troubleshooting skills are the key part which you already have. If a person who is not from the networking background, or you are he wants to come to the cloud, so he needs to build these 4 technologies or 4 fields, and then he can able to excel in the cloud. But you, being the network engineer, being the IT guru, being the software or developer part, you know all these 4 things very well. So this is what my perception about the cloud journey, that these 4 points are your strength. So let's make your strength your source of motivation, and then try to excel in the field of cloud, because today, as someone mentioned, that this is the era of cloud, because everything is being performed over the internet. Like mostly people working from home, they are working from their home using the internet or using VPNs to connect to the office. They are not going to office physically, or maybe most of the tasks being done online, like your gaming, your school classes and everything. So the cloud is the major key player. And definitely the advantages or of cloud. Definitely that's why you are here. The importance of cloud and networking. So that is the 4 points. I think this is the most motivating factor for us. So the second part, which I told you, that there are 3 skill set for multi-cloud networking. The first is network, second is cloud, and third is troubleshooting. You are already good at network part, you know about cloud. We will be touching a brief part of cloud as well, but definitely you know most of them, and you also doing troubleshooting for a long time because you are in the field. But what are the basic thing, like you can say, what are the joining parameters, like network and cloud, how to join them, what are the constructs, what are the features, what are the words, what are the elements which comes between these two, which is the main focus of our presentation. I'm not going to tell you that what the definition of everything about cloud and what they are. You know that, or maybe if you are little information about the cloud, I can share you some information via links and via the websites. So the basic thing is that multi-cloud networking needs to be learned during this webinar. So this is the second you can say stage of our presentation. Acha, as now we discuss that we know cloud, we know what cloud is, but just for a quick refresher, because we have different participant in our presentation, and they know every one of you heard about the cloud definition. Maybe you have heard million of definitions. This is the most bookish definition I ever found in the internet. You can read this. But for me, the simplest definition and the most accurate one is from the NIST. You know, NIST is National Institute of Science and Technology. They define the rules. They publish an article and they say cloud computing is on-demand availability of computer resources. It could be storage, computing power, networking, whatever. Like my computer is on internet, I can access from everywhere. So definitely, if it is on the cloud, it's not my computer. It's a bulk of millions and millions and billions computers. So you can say the availability of resources are always there. This is the basic and easy, you can say, layman definition. Definitely, there are not a complete definition, but it's for the understanding. So I'll just touch these points in very fast way, so we can focus on the main part of our presentation, that is network constructs. So what I was saying, that if you have the idea of cloud is very good, and if you are looking for something, you can have multiple you can say you have multiple options to read from the internet, but I'll share you some link. You can go through and see what cloud is, and it will help you. Okay, meanwhile I'm sending you the link. Now you know what are the types of clouds. Already mentioned over here, there are multiple types of clouds. Like public cloud, name says it is public, it is available for everyone. Then we have a private cloud, which is local to me, which is not accessible for the world. And then is a hybrid, the combination of both. And there is one more cloud, which is normally used in academic session. Like we are here in a webinar by virtue of Huawei community. Basically, it's a platform for the community. So the same concept, the community cloud, it's the cloud for the community. Normally, educational institutes, universities, they are connected over the cloud, and they are like community cloud. It's not open to public, but they are open for every countries, universities, educational institutes. Like you have some institutes in your area, for example. Normally, it's a start with ERN. Education Research Network. It could be Pern, Learn, whatever. So these are the community cloud. So if you have any question on these things, you can write, but definitely I'll focus more on the network constructs. So I'll just skip these part in a hurry. So there are two concepts, multi-cloud and the hybrid cloud. First of all, what is multi-cloud? As the name says, if you have a cloud or you are working on a cloud with more than two vendors, for example, I'm working on Huawei and I'm working on Google. So you can say I'm working on a multi-cloud. But what is hybrid cloud? If these two clouds are two different types, for example, I'm working on Huawei cloud, and as well I have a local data center on my you can say premises or in my office, and they are connected to each other, so I can say this is hybrid cloud. The definition and the picture are very visible and easy to understand, I hope. So you can see the multi-cloud is office is connected with different multiple vendors, and in hybrid cloud they are serving from the public cloud and of course from the on-premises. So this is the basic definition which we'll be using in the later stages. So this is the evolution of public cloud, how they starting with the in 2006 when we have simple cloud with one or two application, but now in cloud 3.0 or the later stages we have multi-cloud, and now people are companies are looking for multiple cloud because they want redundancy, they want their data more redundant to available and less outages, so they are moving toward the multi-cloud. You can skip the slide. Okay, how network is evolve. Initially, you know, your company is connected with the internet and you are good to go in. Then what happened? Then you tried, you have a data center and you have a public cloud as well. So you are public cloud with your local data center and the communication is good and you are good to go. This is the second phase. Company is connected with multiple you can say cloud or VPC. We will be looking what VPCs are and how it works, but definitely just to give you example that how network is evolved over the time. we discussed multi-cloud. Now, what is multi-cloud network? Definitely, if you are having multiple, my voice is okay. Anyone can tell me
I
because
can
I got
hear
one.
you. It got stuck for just a second, but now I can hear you again.
Okay, great, great. Thank you.
No
So,
worries.
multi-cloud, we have discussed what multi-cloud is, but now how multi-cloud will interact with each other, or okay, thank you, how their networking are working. So basically, this is the multi-cloud network architecture does. Actually, it provides connectivity, either whatever the okay, whatever your cloud vendor is, either Huawei, AWS, Azure, GCP. I just mentioned a few of them, but there are, like you can say, hundreds of cloud providers. So how they are connected, basically this is the networks, how they communicate each other, how traffic is flowing, or if I say how routing can done between cloud A to cloud B and cloud B to the on-prem. On-prem is your local data center, and from local data center, this is all being done by the multi-cloud network engineer or associate. But there are so benefits of multi-cloud, but there are some challenges associated, because you know, when we were on-prem, we working on the local data center, but we moved to the multi-cloud. There are so many advantages. Even if you know, there's one very good publication from CIO that almost 96% of the organization, like of course the big organizations, are already working for the multi-cloud, or you can say their IT infrastructure, their network are toward multi-cloud, means they are being served by two or more than two clouds. So, acha, meanwhile, I'll try to explain cloud, multi-cloud and hyper-cloud again. Hybrid cloud is simple, the combination of your private and public cloud. That is hybrid cloud. Just to recall again, multi-cloud is a combination of two or more cloud from two different vendors. I think, Nicholas, it makes clear? Yeah. Okay. So the multi-cloud means you are having more than two clouds, but that should be from two different sources. It could be from A, B, C, Google, Azure, Huawei, Oracle, whatever, but it should be more than two. So there are some challenges associated, because every cloud is having a network. Like for example, like Google has their own set of rules, network architecture, and AWS has different set of architecture. My local data center is different architecture. So the person or the enterprise is little confused how to follow these, because the cloud provider don't provide you the network. They provide you, like you can say, different services. You can say I just go to the cloud provider and say I need a storage. They will give me some space for storage. I ask for the, it's my job to make them integrate. So definitely this is the job of the cloud engineer to integrate all these parts, because the CSP, the cloud service provider, will only give you all the resources like a Lego pieces. What we do in the Lego, we just add these parts in a different directions or in different patterns to make some good shape. So this is our duty to build and operate according to our need. So these are the challenges comes with the multi-cloud, because previously if a company is only working for with one vendor, so he was good to go, he was using the cloud services, okay, but then the second provider comes, so the company needs to integrate these two, and of course need some security as well, and maintain some routing and everything. These are the problem which comes with the multi-cloud. So definitely, so this is the third part which we will be looking, that what network engineering do in the multi-cloud. First of all, as I said, hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is like public cloud and the private cloud. You are having a data center in your office, or maybe you have two servers in your office, which is your email server and your database server, and you purchase cloud resources from different vendors, for example Huawei, AWS, and now your network engineer will try to make connectivity between your on-prem servers with your public cloud. Or what he can do, or what his the job is, he can migrate your on-prem services to the public cloud. This is the second job he can do. Third thing is that like Kubernetes. Basically, now every architecture is like every architecture means web architecture or your application are divided into microservices. Just to give you a little idea what microservices are, the big chunk of application is divided into thousands of small pieces. So each piece is like microservices. So each microservices will be working on a container. So all this thing will be done on the cloud. So all this networking will be done by the cloud engineer, or you can say cloud developer. We will be looking what are the duties of the person in the cloud. So main thing is that integration, monitoring, administration, and the security of the cloud. This is what network engineer uh, does in the cloud or in the multi-cloud. Okay, this is a basic architecture of how multi-cloud are connected. But don't get panic with this diagram, because this is you can say the whole diagram of different like this is Azure, this is, let me open laser, this is AWS, this is GCP, and maybe it could be Huawei and Oracle, whatever. How they are connected, they are different Lego pieces. You can say this is a VPC, this is a transit gateway. We will be learning what are these, don't confuse right now, just to give you an idea how they are connected. And what are the jobs, like every number like 7, 9, these are the points where network engineer can work. Like for example, point 2 is connectivity between two clouds. Up now there's one more thing, like VPC in AWS is known as VNAT in Azure. Name could be different, but definitely the things are same. Like it is VCN in Oracle, but it is VPC in Huawei. The name could be different, but the concept and the task are same. These are some little idea just to give you an idea. This is a simple diagram of that topology. Like this is my network, and I have two VPCs. What VPCs are, we will discuss, don't worry, just to give you an idea how they are constructed, because this diagram will show you how cloud provider will give you resources. Like they give you EIP, they give you VPN, they give you direct connect. Now this is your job to integrate all these things. Does this make sense? Do you understand? Now you are getting how network part is essential in the cloud, and what can you do in the cloud. Like development in the cloud, it is very important, definitely, but before that you need a solid network architecture, and these are like building blocks. You purchase internet gateway from the cloud provider, then you purchase, like I need two IPs, elastic IPs, because I have two data centers and I need a direct connect. We will discuss what these are. So can anyone tell me, like by looking this picture, so now you getting understand that these are the building blocks, and they can be integrated together to make a big network or required network. And definitely these resources will be same for everyone, but every company will use according to their need. For example, I am a website provider of an e-commerce store, so I will be making a website with some database servers, and the other person, like the person B, he has only a gaming website, so he will be looking for some compute resources, and other person is having a you can say application which stores data, so he will be looking for some storage solutions. So the constructs are same or resources are same, but it depends on the company which is its requirement. So they will use according to their requirement. I'll be pausing for a minute or less than a minute. Right now, if you have any question, or do you understand how these constructs will integrate? Definitely we will be looking how they are integrated, what they do. For example, you can say that I don't know what is VPC, I don't know elastic IP. We will discuss this, no problem. But my question right now is that until now you understand how things are going to work. What they do, we will understand and we will learn together in next slides. But for right now, can you just give me a minute so I can wet my thought. Anybody can message me that is it understandable, that it makes sense that how things are connected together to make a giant network or required network. Okay, Vladimir, yeah, hello there. They can go through internet, but there are some, you can say, resources which makes, thank you Vitor, thank you Danish. uh, there are some, you can say, resources which allows our computer or computer, just for the easy word, definitely the VMs, to go to the internet. We will discuss what they are, but definitely the internet is normally used by the internet gateway. And before internet gateway, we have a NAT gateway. Basically, internet gateway is a server which provides you internet connectivity. It's like the DSL in your home. Like you have a home router, 4G router or DSL router. What it does? It takes input from all of you from your house and then send it to internet. And on the reverse path, he'll take data from internet and give it to everyone in your house. So this is the same internet gateway does. But there's a NAT gateway. We will discuss what this is. Okay, thank you Vishal. Thank you. Okay, so this is the basic idea of network. We will be looking each of the block one by one. So let me start. These are some network constructs which you have seen in the last figure as well. These are the network constructs everyone should know. Most of them, people, if you are in the cloud, you know these. What are these? Yes, Danish, I'll be explaining this thing. Yeah, very, thank you. So, like VPC, NAT gateway, some are common to our, you can say, daily networks, but some are specific to the cloud. For example, if we start with the VPC, what is VPC? Okay, and one more thing, I'll try to take a common name, which is mostly with the different vendors. Like I said, VPC is virtual private cloud, but in Azure it is called VNAT, virtual NAT, and in Oracle it is called virtual VCN. So name could be different, but the concept is VPC. In Huawei we have VPC. So I'll more focus toward two things. First is the common name, or second thing is the naming convention of the Huawei cloud. So because I'll be looking for the Huawei cloud demonstration in the end if I get time. Okay, so VPC is virtual private cloud. Okay, the first, this is ElasticIP, Nawar. I'll discuss this thing. Okay, the first construct or the first building block which is very essential for the cloud. Actually, what virtual private cloud is that you have a infrastructure over the cloud, but it is all in one go, and you need to separate different offices or different, you can say, branches. I have like 3 branches of my office, and I want one is of one branch in region A, one in region 2, and third one is the region C. Or I can say I have 3 departments: finance, technical, and the sales. So I'll put the network of finance in one VPC, and engineering in second VPC, and sales in the third VPC. Or in the simple word, it's a logical isolation. If I give you a simple example of our day life, if you have a whole like a hall in your office, what you do? You make a separator, or you can say cardboard between to make a cubicle. So this is a one room, but they are isolated by this cardboard. So this is your cloud, but it is isolated as if they are the separate entity. So VPC1, this is VPC1, it has one network, and VPC2, it has a 2 network, but it's one cloud. It's your whole network in the cloud, but it is isolated. VPC1 cannot talk to VPC2. Like this VM, this computer will not talk to this computer until unless we will make the peering. So this is the basic construct, like to isolate or to simplify network. Normally, if I give you example how it is used, why it is used, so you will get to know what is the. I'll come back to this slide. For example, sorry, we have a website. We have a website on the cloud. Definitely, website have 2 major parts. One is front end, which is visible to the internet or to the user, and second is a back end, where my servers, my database, my login server, my authentication servers are there. So I will make 2 VPCs. One is for the public side and second one for the private side. Or I can do one thing that I'll make 2 copies of my website. I will make 2 copies of my website, or for 2 different purposes, and will be deciding on one VPC and the 2 VPCs and the second VPC. So VPC is simple, nothing but a network isolation in the cloud, or you can say a network in the network. So these are 3 or 4 types where we can use VPC. These are use cases like DR. DR is disaster recovery. Like I have a network on-prem and I make a disaster recovery site on the cloud. So if any issue in my data center, I can be connected to the public cloud and get my data on my hand. This is the one use case of the VPC. VPC has some parts. Definitely when you comes for the network, there are some things, some major requirements for the network. First of all, you need to have some IP block, which could be any IP from this range. These are all private ranges, and they are private. It's mean they are free to use. You can use 10 network, you can use 172 network, you can use 192 network. So this is the CIDR block or IP block of whole VPC. That could be divided into the subnet. If I go to the back slide, and you can see sorry, you can see here this is subnet 1. This is a group of servers for subnet 1, and this is server 2, subnet 2. So the subnet could be the main subnets. From main CIDR you can divide chunk of IP pool for A category and chunk of IP pool for the B categories. And the routing table is basically simple routing table of our networks. Like if every subnet has a routing table, that how they will be reaching to the network. Basically routing table is nothing but the definition of routes where to go. This is you can say the map of available routes. Like if I want to go to this, which path should I take? Sorry. And there are few parts as well, like this. There is one resource, that is network ACL. Network ACL is nothing but like a controlling feature. Like if you are you put network ACL over here, it will be applied to whole subnet, like which IPs are allowed, which are not allowed, which can be communicated, which cannot be communicated. For example, this is my subnet 1, and which is very critical server. So I will put network ACL or NACL, that except my IPs, nothing will be able to communicate with the subnet 1. But subnet 2 is my web server, so everybody can access this except with these few IPs which are blocklisted or which are blacklisted. So this is the network ACL. So network ACL always applied to whole network, or you can say whole subnet. But there is one more security policy, that is called security group, which is only applicable to the instance level or the VM level or the elastic compute level or the system level. I took the 4 names. All 4 names, all 4 things are same. You can call it VM, virtual machine. You can call it elastic compute, which is more technical name, or you can say computer in a layman example, or you can say my network resources or my compute resources. Generic name. So all these 4 things are the same. So in short, security group is applicable to the instance level. Instance means virtual machine or the virtual computer, which or computing resource in the cloud. Like if I go to the back to the slide, this is a simple cloud network where we have 4 machines. This is basically 4 different VMs or instances. It could be one machine, it could be multiple set of machine using load balances and a bunch of machine, and on each subnet there is a network ACL, and same so over here, and there is a router to communicate, and all these constructs are under the one VPC, and this is one VPC and this is second VPC, or you can say 2 different networks, and they are connected with each other by using a peering, or maybe we will put some physical connectivity between these 2 VPN peering. So VPC is you can say the major or a foundational service which is required normally for the cloud designing, and for the easiness of network, and also the security parameter as well. And this is the use case which we already discussed. Okay, the second thing is that we have, let me go back to this slide. Like for example, this is my web server, as I told you, and this is my web server, and I want this web server to be allowed from whole world, so anybody can access this web server. So what do you think, if a web server needs to be allowed to whole world, what is the basic requirement? Or I can say, if I want my laptop to be visible to the internet, what is the basic requirement I need? Definitely there's a website running on the background. Okay, I'll put the page number, no issue. Okay, so what is the basic requirement if I go what is the basic requirement for my laptop or my server to be visible on the internet? Can anybody tell me what is this? Yes, very good, Najam. Public IP. Public IP is the one which is the, you can say, the address, or you can say the identification of your system, your virtual machine, your devices to the internet. So definitely if I'm on the cloud, I need the same thing. So here comes the second resource, which is ElasticIP. Someone was asking before, what is EIP? In short, we call it ElasticIP, and in short, we call it EIP. So this ElasticIP can be applied to any resource. A resource could be your machine, your database, could be your load balancer, your bare metal. Bare metal means a dedicated server, or virtual instance means, or VM means a virtual server. A virtual server can be multiple in one server. Your NAT Gateway, anything can have a unique IP, so it could be available to the internet. For example, just a layman example, your DSL modem again, or your 4G or 5G router in your home, it has one single IP allocated if it is working on a NAT mechanism, and your whole laptops or mobile on your home are connected with that router, and then router will communicate it on your behalf to the internet. So internet knows the IP, public IP of that router. Okay, so we will come, what is ECS? ECS is basically Elastic Compute Service. It is nothing but a VM. As I mentioned earlier, that you call it Elastic Compute Service, or your computer in a layman example, or virtual machine, or instance is a generic. So ECS can communicate to the internet using Elastic IP. You can see this example over here. This is the ECS, Elastic Compute Service. Or you can say in Huawei, the computing resource is called Elastic Compute Service. In Amazon or AWS, we call this EC2, Elastic Compute. And in Google, we call it VM. Basically, this is the one which depend upon the cloud provider. What they call it. I'll show you one example that what do we call these network constructed in different clouds. So it depends. Like some people call you can say Elastic IP, some called EIP. So that this is depending upon the person and depending upon the cloud provider as well. So Elastic Compute is nothing but a static or public IP. So it can be accessible to the world, so you can use. Definitely it is applicable to the one which is facing toward the internet. Definitely if you're a database server or your authentication server which is local to you, you will not allow Elastic IP to be attached with it. And definitely it's unique. There's nothing to mention, that this IP should be unique. It should not be common to other IP. Okay, now as someone asked, what is Elastic Compute? My server or my computer in an easy language. My computer in the cloud is called ECS in Huawei and EC2 in Amazon. So we have two computers. For example, just give you example. This is my ECS, and for example, this is my ECS. Two machines. This is my website. It should be connected with Elastic IP, so it is visible to the internet. But one more server over here. This is BMS, bare metal server, which is nothing but a physical server, which is my local server. Or you can say it's my confidential data, it is in it, or my database in it. But sometime what happens, I don't need internet to connect with this server, but sometime what happened, if it is a Windows based server, I need to update my Windows, or if it is Linux based server, I need to upgrade some patches, or need to upgrade some databases, or maybe some patching. So what I will do, so here comes another service, which is the NAT Gateway. NAT Gateway is nothing but uh, an availability of internet to your systems which are on the private subnet, which are not accessible to the internet. So data can flow in one direction. For example, if I want to upgrade my Windows, so I'll attach NAT Gateway for a certain time to my private subnet, and I will upgrade all my Windows PCs on my Elastic Compute Server, what we call it ECS, all ECS, to upgrade to the latest version, and we will patch all the bug fixes. So during that time, I will fix NAT Gateway to that group of systems. For example, these are the group of system I want to upgrade, and then I will remove NAT Gateway. So during that time, or you can say during that time, internet, they are reachable to the internet. But there is one very catch. These NAT Gateway allows your private internet like these three servers, or you can say these three resources, can reach to the internet, but internet cannot reach to it. So this is a one basic security feature, because someone can ask me that why do we apply for NAT Gateway? We can put these servers to the direct to the internet gateway, and they can get internet, but there would be a heavy security risk, because these are your critical servers, and we cannot put them on internet facing devices. So only public facing devices or websites like your authentication server, these are always come under the public subnet. So network gateway is a third thing which is very important. Here we have discussed so many things about IP, my physical IP, Elastic IP, and everything, my website IP. But you know, you never write IP on your browser. You just write Huawei.com, Yahoo.com, Google.com. You don't know what the IP of Google is. So the main function which was performed by the DNS, so same concept applies here, because in normal network you just write yahoo.com, and then the DNS does the magic and it converts yahoo.com into the IP, and the reverse process from IP to the yahoo.com. So same concept applies in the cloud. If you have a cloud network, you need a DNS in your cloud. Definitely there is a one cloud DNS available with your provider, but sometimes people want a DNS service as well, because they want to do DNS mapping. What is the DNS mapping? Like from your website address to the IP conversion, and IP conversion to website address, or it could be even the name of your Elastic machine, your machine. For example, my machine name is Bashir-KHI. So I will map this name according to the IP which I have. So I don't need to remember my IP. I just put want to communicate with my laptop, so I just put this name, and rest will be done by the DNS. Yes, definitely, DNS is domain name system. Actually, you are right in the network perspective, but here you are providing services, because every resource in cloud is a service. Like VPC is a service, compute is a service, domain naming is a service. Like if I have a load balancer is a device which divide load to different you can say machines. Like I have two machines, two virtual instances, and both are running same website, copy of website. So the device load balancer will divide load from A to B, sometime A, sometime B, depending upon the load availability. So this load balancer doesn't need the IP of these server. He just need the name, because server can be refreshed, server can be restarted, but the name would remain same, and then machine can be restarted. Every time machine restarts, it gets a new IP. So the DNS will always point this name toward the, and you can see there are two DNS. One is private, which is visible under your VPC, and one is internet authoritative DNS, which is available on the internet. And one more thing, like we have DNS, we have Elastic IP, we know what VPC is, but until now we all working on a public cloud, but we do have infrastructure at our office, at our home, at our location. So how to connect these two? Or you can say we have multiple locations. So like I said in the starting, that we are working from home using VPN. Same concept in the networking on the real life, we use the same concept in the cloud as well. So if you want to connect your local data center to the public cloud, you need a VPN over this. So definitely there's a one service which is called VPN. The name suggests virtual private network. It means you are connected over the internet, and your public cloud and your local data center are connected over the internet, but it should be secure because it is under the VPN, or it's you can say security tunnel over there, so nobody can get into this tunnel to get your data out. So VPN is definitely a very good service and widely used. This is some you can say use cases. VPN could be used between, as I said, local data center to your VPC, or maybe you have multiple location of data center available. Like I have one office in Dubai, one office in USA, one office in Malaysia. So I can connect these two using VPN, because definitely from Dubai to Malaysia it's very difficult and very costly to get a lease line. So I will connect these two offices using VPN. Okay, there are two more services which comes under the connection. Before that, I'll go to the connection and interconnect. Like the cloud provider has offices at different location. For example, they are office in US, they are office in Brazil, in Africa, in Australia, whatever. So how they connect to each other? This is the main question. Maybe my office is in Dubai. How do I connect with these data centers? So I need something called connections. It could be direct connect or it could be cloud connect. When I want to connect my local data center to the public cloud, I'll be using a service that is called direct connect. You can ask me a question. That is very good. If you lay a fiber, it will cost you more than your whole infrastructure. If you are laying a fiber from Dubai to Malaysia, and definitely there's an operation cost and something. Okay, the second thing, I'll come to your question just a minute, Latif. Okay, so direct connect is nothing but let me show you. Now, what is the difference between direct connect and the VPN? Here, you can say this is, for example, this is a cloud provider ABC, whatever the name is. He has point of presence POP in different location. For example, my office is in Dubai, so these are 2 points where I can connect my fiber. So this is the reasonable cost. I will drop off my fiber from the nearest location of that cloud provider. When they are connect, no, Supachai, VNet to VNet direct connect is little different. It could be your question. I'll come back to you. So direct connect is if you are connecting your local data center to the public cloud using VPN or the direct connect. What is the difference? I'll again recalling it. If you are connecting your local data center to the public cloud using internet by using VPN, that is one way. The second option is you use direct connect service. Direct connect its service is like dropping my local connectivity to the nearest POP. POP is the point of presence of that cloud provider. For example, fiber to this location, then it's AWS or Azure's or GCP job to communicate with their network, how they will. So they will use direct connect. Yes, direct connect is supplied by your ISP. Definitely, I'll connect to my ISP. For example, my ISP is ABC. I will drop to that location. If this ISP, Nicholas, if this IP is the part of your cloud provider, so he will drop to this. So this is a basic connect. So this is your local data center. This is, you can say, public cloud. You can see both options, direct connect and the VPN. If it is over the internet, then it's VPN. But if it is through the physical connectivity, then the service will be used as direct connect. And there is one more service which is cloud connect. When you have multiple VPCs. For example, as I mentioned, I have different offices or different departments, or I can say I have a different set of companies. A big company A, and it has 7 daughter companies B, C, D, E, F. So each daughter company is under one VPC. So how to communicate these VPCs together, because they are all isolated. So the Cloud Connect comes in. So if you talk about now, Supachai, now comes to your question. Direct connect is same as VNet to VNet. VNet is what? VNet is VPC. If it is, if you are connecting your one VNet, which is your private, and second VNet, which is public, then definitely it could use direct connect. But if both are different VPCs or VNets, it's not involving private cloud, then definitely it's not VNet to VNet peering. Okay, I hope this clears. And the second question which was there, what kind of VPN is often used? Actually, it only to secure. Like GR is very simple, IPsec. But normally when we make a VPN pair, we configure IPsec. And one more thing I add. When you just make a VPN with your office to public cloud, you make 2 tunnels. One is primary, one is backup. For example, if you have a VPN gateway, one tunnel is connected with Shanghai office and one is connected with the Beijing office. IPsec tunnel. This is depending upon your availability of resources and definitely how much you want to secure your network. And definitely there are costs involved. The more number of tunnels will cost you more. So these are the basic network constructs, and every resource which are normally used in cloud providers are widely used. There are, like, you can say 100 plus services, but these services are the most common one for the network related services. There are services for the compute resources, like I want 100 PCs in the cloud, so I will ask my cloud provider to give me compute resources. That is ECS in Huawei and EC2 in Amazon. Maybe I can ask, please add a graphic card on it, because I need to process some graphic websites or gaming consoles. Or maybe I can ask a resource for IoT. So the cloud provider will add the IoT resources, because my server will be communicated with the IoT devices over the world. So I'm using the 3 services, the compute resource, the IoT resource, and definitely a network resource. But the main thing which I'm trying to focus over here, whatever service you will use on the cloud, network constructs or network services will be there, because you will not be using standalone. Maybe you are using IoT based service, you are using machine learning services, either you are using services for big data analysis, whatever, you just name it, and I'll count in that network part will be essential. Because even on the least case, you need to connectivity from your local data center or local premises to the internet. You need something to communicate. Maybe it could be VPN, it could be VPC, it could be ElasticIP, it could be anything which we have learned so far. So thank you for all the questions. These are very good questions. And one thing is very famous nowadays. I gave you example of website. For example, I have a website, for example, like learning management service. You go to the website and see the videos and all the configuration steps. Okay. So my website is hosted in, for example, US. The people from Middle East or Far East or in Asia or Africa, they need to access that website. It will little delay over here. So what resource is useful over here? It is CDN, content delivery network. It is same like cache. What YouTube has done? He has make a little pop in every ISP in every part of the country. That is called CDN network. He deployed 3 or 4 servers in every ISP's data center. So the data is very near to you. It is reachable to you, and definitely speeds will enhance. So same concept comes over the cloud. If you have multiple resources, or your customer is in different regions, you will not deploy in one AZ. You will deploy in one region, and then you will CDN resource. So my copy of data will be available to the CDN all over the world. For example, I'll give you example. I hosted my website in Brazil, for example, but I put CDN on different location where my customer, for example, my customer is in Latin America and in Asia only, not in America, not in Australia. So I will deploy my website over here, and I will put CDN over here. So the customer from the Asia will get better latency, better services. So this is what CDN is. Here again, I'll try to pause for a minute, and for your question, definitely you've been asking any point, you can write over here. Then I'll jump to the fourth part and the lab part as well, that what are the available options for the network engineers or IT developer, which is the main purpose, or which is the main question of most of them you have asked, that how can we enter into the cloud, and how do we migrate our carrier, or you can say transform our carrier. What are the options? So you can add your input. Julian, can you just specify what is your question? I know you are not answering the question regarding connection. Okay, if you are asking about if I have multi-cloud, like for example, my network is on Huawei cloud and as well as on Amazon cloud, that is AWS. So how do we communicate each other? Because we discussed that if communication is required between my data center private cloud to public cloud, direct connect can be used. But when both are two different public cloud, how can they communicate? This is done by the VPN pairing, which we used, which we show earlier, like Cloud Connect, like how to connect two different VPCs or two different networks, or we can done via the two ways. First way is this Cloud Connect, or we can make a VPN pairing. VPN pairing needs VPN gateways. Like I created, thank you, sir. I created different gateways, like one VPN gateway. So my different VPCs, or you can say different branches, are connected to me, and they can flow my data easy. So either they are on the same cloud, either they are on different cloud. If I say Cloud Connect is used to communicate between different VPCs, then it could be of the same vendor, it could be of different vendor, it could be of even on the same location, on different location, region in the cloud. Actually, I keep on telling you the both names, the common name and the technical jargon which is used in the cloud. Like we know physical location, we call it as availability zone or zone depending upon the cloud provider. But that availability zone means our data center, and multiple data center can be available in one region. For example, this is US USA. It has multiple region, US East, US West, and each region has multiple data center. It's mean each region has a different availability zones, or you can in common example data center. Same, this is Middle East region. It has multiple AZs availability zone in AWS, or in Huawei, or in Google we call it zone. So each could be a different region. So that is the main difference between the region and the zone. Basically, if I come over this picture again, sure. Okay, this is the like world map, you can say. We have subcontinent Africa, America, Latin America, Australia. But in the cloud, we separated into the regions. This is US region, this is Europe region, this is Asia region, this is Australia region. And each region can have multiple availability zone. Availability zone is nothing but a data center, a physical data center. And one more security is that one data center should be at least, it depends upon cloud service provider, but I'm giving you example of Microsoft. They design each data center at least 300 miles away from the second data center. For example, if one data center is in Chicago, so at least the other data center should be 300 miles from Chicago. So they can be redundant, they can be resilient. If anything occurs in that region, maybe Chicago data center will be down, but remaining should be up. So every website, everything on the data on the cloud is stored on different AZs. So it will give you a redundancy. For example, I have a website. I will, and I know my mostly customer are from US. So what I will do, I will host my website on this data center and replication on this data center. So if even any issue on this data center, although the SLAs are very high, like even like 99.97 or 999 depending upon the resources, but even if a whole data center got some issue, then my services will not be hampered. And if even I can do cross region, I put one copy in US region and one copy in Asia region. So this is a one more layer of security or redundancy, or you can say the availability has increased. Definitely it costs you more, because if a server is running on one region, it is like for $2. If you put on the other region, it will cost you for $2 more. This is simple. So this is the example of how regions and availability zones are decided. And if you see any figure, any picture, you can see this is different zones. They are like this is the private. Like this is AZ1. Yeah, definitely there are latencies issue, but for maintaining our redundancy, you need to compromise little redundancy. But what you do, if you have more customer of US, you will put master on the US side and the backup on the Asia side. It basically, this is what the duty of cloud designer or architect is. Actually, how to design your network, where to design, either it is close to your network. Like I'll give you one example. There are some countries which doesn't allow your data to go outside. For example, let me give you an example. Like AWS as a dedicated service for government, US government. So all the servers, all the infrastructure is within the US boundary. So that is the you can say government compliance in something. So but when you design network, you need to make it more resilient. And how to recover this latency issue? By adding CDNs. Definitely I am putting my server on US and Asia, but I'll put CDN in Europe and Africa. So my customer will not get hampered with the latency issue or with the service degradation. Very good question, Mr. Colin Nidolov. Very good question, thank you. So this is how the network is designed, because when we were on the local data center, things were pretty easy because we know our limitations, we know our requirements. But with the horizon of this cloud, there are challenges with all these availabilities. So we need to overcome the challenge and design network as much we can make it robust and available to the user every time. So before going to the last part, I'll want to show you the let me show you demonstrate the cloud part. Like let me show you just a second. For example, this is the simple diagram of VPC cloud. Okay, how these are my servers, this is my ECS, this is my machine, and this is my RDS. RDS is nothing but a database server. So my database is connected with my machine, ECS, that is VM machine, and the same over here. This is one more subnet with one machine, and definitely a firewall is connected to separate, and all these resources are under my VPC. So the user comes from the internet will hit my ElasticIP, as I told you all. So now what is this? What is the issue in this diagram? This will be applicable to whole VPC. So anything comes from the user can be accessible to any resource. He can access RDS, he can access this machine, this machine. But what we want to do, we want to make it more secure by just a second. We are applying like this. Okay, this is our subnet, and we put elastic IP to the only to the machine which needs internet access, or you can say which needs to accessible to the internet. So whole network is not accessible to the internet, only this machine is accessible. But what if this machine needs internet for some time? So what we do, we can do one thing, that we put a routing. So any traffic comes over here should not go to the router, should go to the this machine, so he can land it to the internet. So this is the you can a small task which you perform on the internet. So I wanted to show you on the Huawei cloud, so you get to understand. Miss Alina, how much time do I have?
I think if we can wrap it up at 12:30, it's okay. If you think you have enough time. So 40 more minutes.
Okay, great. Okay, I have already configured this thing, but definitely I'll show you how to configure. Okay, this is the main before just a second. Okay, we have multiple available I'm just showing you the Huawei cloud. Okay, this is the console for Huawei cloud. For example, this is the console. If I'm just login, this is the main screen with, like, you can say there are 100 of products available. You can compute resources. If I go to compute, we have Elastic Compute Server, which is nothing but a virtual machine. Then a bare metal server means a dedicated machine. A machine, simple machine, physical machine. But one more product is dedicated machine, physical server, but it is not shared with anybody. Auto scaling is nothing but you need to add according to your requirement. For example, I have machine, but whenever my machine hits 90% of utilization, I need another machine. If you were on the local cloud, then you need to physically build all that machine. But on the cloud, auto scaling does your job very fine. Whenever your usage is increased, for example, you have a website, it is always having a traffic of 50%, 50 to 60%. But whenever there is a sale or something, event comes like a new year or any, your traffic on your website reaches to the maximum. So the auto scaling does the job. They will create another instance for you, and according to your need, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when the load comes down, the auto scaling does the reverse job. It will remove the machines which are extra for your load. So only the 1, 2, 3 machines are available, so you can use. We mostly focus on the network part, like virtual private cloud. We have already checked what is this virtual private network, VPN. We know Cloud Connect. We discussed NAT Gateway. We discussed ElasticIP. We discussed domain name services, which is DNS in the cloud form. Normally in and direct connect we discuss, and there's load balance as well. Load balance is nothing but if you have multiple machines, there's a load balance which divides your load to different machines. So let's go to the console and let's see what is how console is. Okay, this is the basic console. Can anyone tell me what these numbers are? You can read it or you can write it, no issue. What these numbers showing? 2010, what these numbers are? Your resources services, definitely. Very good. The entities resources, because every constant, like can anyone tell me how many servers are running and how many are internet accessible and how many are private accessible? 2 servers by Wasim Shabir, thank you. But how many are internet accessible and how many are private? Are both Both are internet accessible. Very good. No, Najam said one. How, Najam? Can you just define how you did got to know? Yes, definitely. But acha, one question from my side. I have two servers. Definitely, you are right. Two servers are running on uh, uh, two servers are running, and one Elastic IP is there. Can both be accessible to the internet? How? By subnetting or by routing. Okay. Now let's go to the servers. Now these two are servers, not exactly port forwarding, because I discussed one thing that we can do we can put a route on one subnet. Like if our traffic comes from server 1, it should go to server 2, because server 2 is having elastic IP. So this could be done by SNetting, source netting. Like everything which comes on this server will be forwarded to the internet. Yes, yes, right. And the by netting, right, right. Okay, two servers are running. These are okay. Let me make two more for you. So first of all, what I will do, this is the service list, but definitely I just spin the most used one. Okay, so let us get started with the VPN. First of all, virtual private cloud. I come to the console of virtual private cloud, and you can see one VPC is already there. So I created one more VPC, and this is a region where I want to create. I want say Hong Kong. Okay, fine. I put test. Name could be anyone, no issue. It is local to you. And then let me zoom in. Yes, is it visible, right? Okay, which should be the CIDR block, which will be the IP pool for whole VPC. So the recommended are these three. You can use anyone. So I'm using 192.168, and I'm using the same, which is even I can use 172 like this. I can use 10, or I can put, but I'm already using this, so he is giving the error. So I'll use 192.168.0/16, because I want to make two subnet. Okay, then there's a default subnet which will be created by default, but I'm changing my name. Again, name could be anyone. Okay, this is the CIDR block for this subnet. It's mean the default subnet will be having 192.168.0.0/24 will be the IPs. And you can see only 251 IPs are available. Why? Can anyone tell me why 4 IPs are not available to me? We know in each subnet there's 256 IPs. Definitely .0 you can .0 and 255 can be subtracted due to the network ID and the broadcast ID. But why two more IPs are not available? Like, so you just write in the chat box, and I'll tell you what is this. I can add more subnet by clicking over here. One is for the broadcast, one is for network, and one is for the domain name. For servers, we will assign from available chunks. No? For example, in this subnet, I will make 5 machines. So 5 IPs will be minus from this count. But right now I have 251. It's mean my 4 IPs are used. One is for network, one is for broadcast, one is for domain name, and one is for their local use. This is for the Huawei cloud. In AWS, they reserve 5 IPs. First two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One is for network, 2 is for domain name, DNS, 3 is for their functional use, and one is reserved for the future use. So every subnet will remove the one more subnet. I name it subnet 2. Nothing. You can put any name, and then I create new. Okay, so you can see you can see test VPC. This is a VPC which I created. You can remove this VPC. This is the test. Okay, this is the one VPC which I have created. Okay, so it has this CIDR block. Now this VPC has two subnet. How can I know? I can see. Yes, Mr. Eric, chat available. You can catch later, no issue, and thank you for your participation. Okay, so this VPC is available with two subnets and one routing table. So now what we'll do, because these are from different VPCs. So what we will do, I will select only test VPC. So test VPC, we have two subnet, right? Okay, now I'll go to the routing table. I can see again two routing tables. One is with my test VPC and one is with the old one. So what we will do, now we will create two hosts in each you can say in each subnet. So they will be on different regions. So let's get back to the Elastic Compute Service. Okay, here two machines are running. Let me add one more by ECS. Okay, so there are multiple options for the billing. You can buy for yearly or monthly package or pay per use. Right now I will buy a machine, and when I will delete. So it will be cost me little slow. Okay, now you can see they are charging me per hour. Okay, so the second thing is that AC, this is the data center, you can say. And then we have which server you want to use. Let me, for example, I'm using a server with two virtual ASP. For example, I'm using this server with 4 GB RAM and with two virtual CPUs. Then basically it's like purchasing what you are purchasing. What I have done so far. I said need a computer resource. I will be using billing mode with the pay per use. Then my region should be Hong Kong because my VPC is in Hong Kong. This should be same. Otherwise, they will not communicate with each other, right? Then what should be the server type and what is the specification? I selected general purpose computing, and which is the name is S3 large 2 definitely, and it has two two virtual CPUs and 4 GB RAM, right? Then I want which OS should be installed in. Okay, so I'm using CentOS because it's open source and easy to use. I can select any operating system, Windows, Fedora, OpenSUSE, whatever. So I think CentOS is good to go. And then I click network configuration. Now I define where my these two machines will be deployed. So I said please deploy in my test VPC because the BAZ VPC is different VPC which is for some other purposes. And then sorry, then I'll say which subnet, because I have two subnets. So I said okay, put it into the default subnet. And then we have a security group. I told you that security group is like the security checkpoint for your device. Like my device, my virtual machine, like I said, TCP 3389 port should be open for all. But we are testing and we are just learning. So I open all by default. This is all open, and this is inbound rule, means anybody can comes using TCP 3389, which is the remote desktop. Even I can remove this port because we have selected the Linux server, so this is for the Windows machine. But and port 22 for the SSH for the Linux machine. So by default this is allow, okay. And then we have EIP. Do you want to auto assign? Use the existing one. If you have available, then you can use the existing one. Okay, I said okay, I'll buy the one. Now they want how it should be. Yes, Naver, you are right, because first IP was for the network and the broadcast, and one for the DNS, and one for for their future use. Like AWS reserve one for the future use. They have not defined why they are used reserve this IP in every subnet. Okay, so come back to this EIP. How EIP will be built? It could be by traffic. How much traffic? The more the traffic, more will be billing. Or it could be shared bandwidth, or it will be using by the bandwidth. I select, okay, I need 5 MB to this server, and this is okay. The more bandwidth I require, the more the cost will be added. You can see the cost over here. If I said I need 200 Mbps, so you can see the cost goes to the $8 per hour. 5 MB is enough for me. Okay, now what should be the name? I said test 1, test server 1, just to remember. I can give any name, okay? And then how be I accessing this server? By using key pair, by using password, or so I just put username is root because this is a Linux server. I put some password. I'm not going to tell you what my password is. Okay, then this is click on confirm. So he will tell me all the configuration which I have selected. If I'm okay with it, that the billing should be per use, pay per use, name should be this, VPC should be this, ElasticIP is available, subnet should be this, AZ is AZ2, Hong Kong is the region, and quantity is 1 required. I can make it 2, so I can be used 2, but I need one in one AZ and other one is the second AZ. So I will create only one, and then I click on I read, and then click next. So it will create a one Elastic compute server in the AZ2. I go to the okay, now you can see the test one server is creating. It will take a little time. Meanwhile, we will create one more server in different region. I'll select VC. Now you can tell me what should I select. Paper use, because I don't want to use for longer period of time. So paper use. If you are running a web server or a service which is running 24/7, then definitely you will go for the yearly and monthly package. That will cost you low. For Acha, one question is very good from Nawad, that does it support ARM chip? So right now, if you see one option over here, okay, I select all generation. Now you can see different type, because right now I am using a testing purpose, so I use general purpose computing. But if someone comes with, he said, no, I need a high performance computing, I'm working on some GPU based services. So they have GPU accelerated devices, they have memory optimized. Like in this system, you cannot find a system with 2 GB RAM or 4 GB. All are like 16 GB, 256 GB. You can see the number of RAM, 512 GB, all are available. And if someone comes like, I need sorry, I need some with high storage, so they can select. So they have different type of a specification. As we were doing testing, so we use general purpose. This is same like our computer. We for laptop we use normal purpose computer because we do normal work. But if someone is using database working or high performance computing, then they need to add the resources which is required for them. For example, someone is working on graphics softwares, or you can say games, mobile games or something like that. Okay, then back to this virtual EPC2. Very good question, Navar. Okay, then again I'll select CentOS, and 8.2 is okay for me. Okay, one more question is there, like if I stop just stopping the VM, it will still continue to be built. Okay, what is the concept of billing? If you are using for monthly package, definitely you will be charged because you have taken the server, either it is stopped, it is running, you will be billed. But if you are using for per use case, pay as you go model, then definitely if your machine is stopped. What do you mean by stop? There are two options. Like a stop means you are reserving our resources, but if it is terminated, then you will not be cost charged. And one more thing is that there's a cost of elastic IP. If it is bounded with any server, then it will not charge. But if you have taken that elastic IP and it is not bounded with uh, any server, then it will cost charge, although it is not being used. Okay, one more very good question from Mr. Latif, I guess. Is it possible to try Huawei Cloud for free? Yes, you can use Huawei Cloud, and even most of the cloud, they provide you a trial period of, like, some provide for 1 year, some provide for 6 months, for some for 2 years, some provide you not the value, they provide you the credit. That, like, you have a credit, you can go and use whatever resources you want to use. Like for Huawei Cloud, they give you a time uh, with $200. I'll show you my billing information as well. So I have $200. I can use the resources. Yeah, GCP 300. What it depends upon the cloud provider. So they give you like 1500 hours of cloud services you can use. So it depends. Very good. And thank you, Omar. You have voted me again. If you like it, definitely you should go for the voting. I would appreciate that. Okay, now the important thing is the second server. I select the same test VPC, but this time I will select different subnet 2, because I want this machine to be on different subnet. Same. And one more thing, I don't want the internet accessibility on this server, so I required EIP, not required. When I click on this, you can see it is disappeared and my cost is lower down because there is no elastic IP. Mr. Sony Thoms, what do you mean by partner? Every cloud provider has a partner. They have a partner on services, on sales, which type. Even some cloud provider partnered with the universities. They give the free access to the students of that university, and what they just need, they need some promotion. So this is test server, and I would very thankful for the very good question. I really like the questions you are asking. These are very good questions. Any option to partner with partner to learn cloud like ENSP? Yes, definitely. Okay, again I put a password and then click confirm. Okay, now you can see he is giving me a warning like the primary net interface doesn't have an EIP bound and ECS cannot access the internet. I said okay, I don't need internet. That's why because this information is already for just for your intimation. Maybe you have forgotten, but we don't need internet access to this server. Definitely, that's why we do not add EIP. Okay. Meanwhile, if I go to the main list, I can see yes, Umar, you will be sent with the detail. All Miss Salina will send you all thing. Don't worry. Okay, now you can see for just to make it easy to understand, I put classify it. Okay, now you can see both of machines are started and they are keep on running. Now the one good option in Huawei, then you can take remote login directly. This option is available on other service provider as well, but like I click on remote login. Okay, now this is the interface where you can see I got a login screen, and I will write password, user ID, and then password, which I just set. Okay, now you can see I'm in the server, and just for your curiosity, you can see the CentOS is running. Okay, this is the name and everything, and you can also see all the details, like which is my IP, what is my name of the server, what is the public IP I'm getting, and you can stop over here, refresh it, something like that, and CPU usages and bandwidth availability. Now I go to the second server, which is server 2. I'll try to show you something. Mr. Fran, kindly please send email to Miss Alina in private. It would be good. Okay, thank you. Okay, the password of second server is this. Okay, now I get into the second server. Your name. Basically, this is a Linux command to check most of them, and you can see this is a Linux server is running over here. Okay, now what I want to try to like, this is the server 2, and this is server 1. First of all, what I will do, I will try to ping this IP 192.168.0.13 from server 2. Is it reachable? Can anyone tell me? Can I ping okay, Lodge, Mohammed, what you said for no? Do you mean to it will not ping? Okay, so this is server 2, and I'll ping the IP of server 192.168.0.13. So what do you think, server 2 will ping server 1 or not? Who can answer me? Yes, please. Not possible, different subnet. Anyone else who can say yes? We have more than 100 people. Not possible due to different subnet. Acha, anyone can dare to say that they can ping? Oh la, it is pinging. Okay, let's go to the server 1, and then I will tell you why it is pinging. Okay, do anyone know what is the IP of second server? I forgot what is the IP of second server. Or you can say how to check. There are two methods. Either I can use this command to check, or I can go to the portal and see this IP. So I'll go to the server 1 and I will ping. So now who will tell me that server 1 will ping server 2 or not? Because server 2 was pinging to server 1. Yes, please. 1.204. Yes, you can, Burhan. This is available. One thing for IPv6. Definitely it is pinging. Now, now anyone can tell me if it is pinged to this as well? Then I will tell you why it is pinging the local IP. Can it ping 8.8, or will it ping, or you can say server 2 is accessible to internet or not? This is my question. Acha, okay, Nicholas, you are absolutely right. Okay, now come to server 1. Will server 1 will ping to the internet? What do you think? Acha, Mohammed Burhan said server 2 not as not access to the internet while choosing, right? And what about the server one? What about server one? Okay, great, good to know. Let's try. Server one should ping because we have elastic IP over here. It is accessible to the internet. Now let's go to server two. Oh voila, it is not pinging. Definitely who answered like server 2 is not pingable, he's right. Okay, now second question was there about IPv6. Let me show you one thing. Server 1. If definitely it will give you me all information. You can see this summary disk, NIC network interface card. If you go to the network interface card, you will see the IP, my private IP and the public IP. My MAC address and everything is over there. What is my speed? Achha, one thing is very important which I'm trying to show, the source and destination check. Source and destination should be same. If I disable this, so any traffic can flow from here. This is the basic requirement which I was telling you in the start. Like if I disable this check, then I can put the route from here, so traffic will come to ECS1 and then ECS1 will transfer this to the internet. But definitely this needs some configuration on for netting on the Linux machine as well. And for the network guys, we just put a route and the whole things will be done by the Linux administrator. But definitely if you are interested, I'll show you the link. You can easily configure. Okay, now I will show you again one thing more. Where is the okay, and server 2, I don't need server 2, so I can stop it, I can restart it, I can terminate it, okay, or I can delete it. If I delete this server, he's saying that delete all IPs. Yes, now you can see deleting ECS2 server. It is disconnected because we have deleted this server. We can close this, but server 1 is running because we had not stopped yet. So it's always better if you remove the server first and then remove okay, one thing before billing, which is very important. You were asking for the billing information. Server 1 is there. We can stop from here as well. Compared to Alibaba, actually we cannot compare to Alibaba right now because Alibaba has you can say uh, a bigger footprint. Like right now Huawei is evolving, they have a minimum number of data centers. So if I compare, maybe the cost of Huawei is little lower, but definitely we will not go because right now they have AZs in Asia and Latin America, not in America, not in Europe, and little one in Africa. So if someone is looking for the bigger horizon, the AWS is on the top, then Azure, then GCP, then Alibaba and Oracle. And definitely you can see the Abu Dhabi region coming soon. Right now they don't have a region. I can show you the region of Huawei Cloud. You remember we have one option over here. Yeah, they have three region in China, then Asia Pacific 3 region, one is in Africa, 3 in Latin America, no Europe, no in America right now, And definitely the portal is very good because I have used AWS, I have used Google, I have used Alibaba, uh, and I have certification in that Alibaba and so Oracle. So but the platform of Huawei is very very good, very easy, very compact, very concise. But definitely they are evolving, so it would take time. And regarding the resources, I'll show you the resources, how to check the resources. Okay, meanwhile, just a one slide is remaining, which is for what are the options. So you can have a question. Meanwhile, I'll show you something. Okay, this is the dashboard of right now. This is services running. If you go on a more, you will see the resources, my package. I click on my package. What is my package and what is resources I have used so far. So this is the amount which I have used so far. Uh, just created account. So that is not much usage. If I want to use the usage detail, I have used the cloud charges, I have used the volume, something, all these VPC charges, everything is there, no issue. And one more thing very important, my package. My quota, that is very important. Let me show you. This is the quota which I'm like, for example, I can make 20 servers. Right now I'm using 3. I can make 200 virtual CPUs, I'm using 6. You can increase this quota by adding service requests. Like recently, yesterday, I had requested for increasing my VPC and routing table. Previously it was low, and then I requested them to increase, and with the reason and with the issue. So definitely they will increase. And you can see, like right now I have 5 and I have used 2 of them. So that is one question from your side. And the third last topic which I want to conclude it. So like it as it is, it was expected, and also the as far from the survey, we know most of the people are from network fields, from IT and developers. So you have a good chance to go into the cloud, and you have a basic idea of how cloud networking works, what are the multi-cloud challenges, how they are working together, what you can do on the cloud. So you can see, if you are in IT, you can go to the cloud developer field, you can go to the cloud operation, to the software side. And if you are a network engineer, NOC engineer, you can go to the multi-cloud networking, cloud security, cloud designer. Definitely a person who is already in a network field, he can excel easily because he know the troubleshooting, uh, what uh, what is the requirement and how to secure these things. And even if you are in the pre-sales and in the sales field, definitely the sales people are looking for something which is more required in the market. Definitely cloud is your baby. You can easily sell, and you can use with different options, multi-cloud option, hybrid cloud option, support contracts, you can say the expansion contracts, and everything is there. And these are the available options. There are so many of. I just mentioned only few options, or you can see the options which are most critical and most widely used. And okay, one very interesting question is Huawei Cloud versus Azure in terms of performance and reliability. Uh, First of all, the comparison, or or if you want to compare, Apple should be compared with the Apple. like Azure is a giant now, and Huawei is evolving in the cloud. As I mentioned in the region part as well, like um, even if it is IaaS or PaaS or whatever, because right now Huawei is evolving, you cannot compare with them. Definitely, you can say, you need to compare AWS with the Azure. They are the compatible with each other. But right now, Huawei is a child, but a child with a more good uh, availability and more passionate child. He can add their fingerprint footprint in a later. Infrastructure, the basic infrastructure is available in the cloud. If you see the services are already there. Mostly the common services are there. For example, I'll give you one example. AWS has 180 plus services. You just name it and they have a services. They have a services for the virtual desktop. I don't have a computer, I don't have any processor, simple laptop. I can connect to the AWS cloud and I will get everything according to my need. Maybe the virtual desktop for my sales guy, and for the uh, for some management guy or some technical guy. Everything is available on the internet. They have IoT services, they have video services. But if you go for the Alibaba and you can say uh, for example, Huawei Cloud, they have less number of services, but at least the minimum services they are already have. You cannot say basic services I don't have. Like for example, I open, like, this is the compute service. You have every possible option of compute. You have a storage, networking options are there, database services are there. Mostly four things which are required mostly for the cloud service providers: compute, network, storage, and database. We already have this thing. Applications are there. Every services are like almost 70-80 services are there. Already services are there. Okay, so services are there, but definitely we cannot compare right now. But by the time Huawei will be the one which with major field. So right now I will ask if you have any question, or we can end the presentation, or I would like to say thank you to everyone who has joined. It was really good for me, and I enjoyed a lot. And the question from you people was exceptional. And if you like this presentation or the webinar or the contribution, you can vote me to the link which Miss Alina has already shared, I guess. And 2-3 questions which I just like to answer. Like, recording will be there. I guess Miss Alina will share in the form. Even I can share the presentation with her. She can upload the presentation as well. You can join my link. I'll share you. You can find me on LinkedIn, or you can find me on Huawei portal. As Ms. Alina told you earlier, that I have the part of MVE, Most Valuable Engineer in Huawei. So I tried to share the knowledge with the form. You can follow me on Huawei portal as well. Then you can see the post from my side. Like, I shared you one post of cloud. I have now, I think Miss Alina want to join and want to add something. She has some slides.
Yes, I just want to thank everyone who's still here. Some of the participants were not able to stay until the end. But even so, I want to thank you first of all. I want to thank everyone joining. I just want you to know about the Huawei Enterprise Support Community, which I'm representing, and which Bashir is also a member of. This is a technical community for all the Huawei enterprise products and certifications. We provide the free technical support. So if you have any technical issues, technical questions, you can come here, post, and you'll get a reply in under 24 hours. We have an extensive knowledge base. We have almost 200,000 members so far. And we also have monthly activities with rewards and live webinars like this one. And also you can find the rewards. In the rewards section, we have the MVE program, which stands for the most valuable engineers, and more surprises will follow for the most active users actually. I want to invite you to go here to the webinar post. You can already find the 3 questions there, and you can reply the questions in a comment below the post. We will select 10 participants who replied all the questions correctly, and we will reward them with a $20 Amazon.com gift card. This is just something we usually do for the most active participants to the webinar as a thank you. And I also want to invite you all to vote for Bashir. He's an excellent presenter. We are trying to find the best presenters in the community. So if you like this presentation, if you thought it was useful, insightful, and if you appreciate his effort, please vote. It only takes a second to vote, and it helps us and him as well. So I will send you all the link again. This is the link where you can vote for Bashir. And as I said before in the chat, I will also upload the presentation, both the recording and the PPT in the community after this live session. If any of you wants to receive the presentation in private, please leave me your email address in private here in the chat box. If not, you'll be able to find everything in the community. You just have to register an account or log in if you already have an account. I'm sure many of you are already members of the community. I know you have attended other webinars in the past as well. So yeah, please go to the post. I will share the post again in case some of you don't have the link. I will share the link again. This is the link. We will update the post after this live session. I will add the training materials there, the presentation and the recording, and you can also find the link to the voting post. I'm receiving your email addresses in private. I will save them and share the presentation with you a bit later or tomorrow, the latest. This was it from my side. Thank you all. I hope you will attend our future webinars as well. And if you have any other questions for Bashir, if he still has time to answer your questions, we will stay a bit longer. If not, we will end the presentation soon. It's already been 2 hours. But it was a great presentation, really interesting. I also learned a lot, even though I'm not an engineer, but I learned a lot. So thank you for that.
Okay, one thing I just like to add in the start, thanks to Alina as well, because she organized and managed all this thing. So thumbs ups to her as well. The topic is little, you can say, unique in this sense. It's a combination of 2 different fields, so it's very difficult to combine in one presentation, or you can say it's closed in a one or session of 1 hour or 2 hours. Definitely we have little longer with the session time, but definitely your participation was there, and it was good for me to involve and demonstrate what I know. So again, I would like to say thank you, and definitely if you like, you will hopefully vote for it. Definitely it's for the motivation. Your motivation is always there. So again, thank you again for the questions, and recording and presentation will be sent by Miss Alina, as he already mentioned this thing. So thank you all, and any question we are welcome, and we will be ending in 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you all. Yeah, if you missed the presentation, I will share it after. So no worries. And thank you all for your feedback. It means a lot to us.
I was looking for what is your private subname? I don't know what is the meaning. Recording is available. Meanwhile, maybe I can show you one good thing for next 2 minutes. It will help you understanding. I show you one website. I hope. This is the website. This is a very good website. It compares all the cloud with the resources. Like for example, I go to the network part. Like there's one question from someone that why VPC in AWS and VCN in Azure. So it's just a naming convention, but how do you remember? There are two ways. Either you source, or maybe if your work keeps on working, then it got you remember. Like for example, DNS name. The AWS has a unique name in every part, like Amazon Route 53. 53 is basically a port number for DNS. So Amazon Route 53 is a DNS service. But Azure called as Azure DNS, and Google call it Google DNS, and IBM's called as Internet Service. Oracle use Oracle DNS. Alibaba uses like Alibaba Cloud DNS, and same in Huawei it is for DNS. So every services with all flavor. Basically, in this website, they have Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, IBM, Oracle, and Alibaba. Maybe soon they will add Huawei and other vendor as well. But this was very good. If you can see, I'll share you the link. Thank you, everyone.
So I think,
Yes, this is
do you
the
still
last
have?
image I'm showing.
Okay, okay,
Then we will end. Okay,
okay.
this is the basically a Gartner chart. A Gartner is an organization, or you can say a company which normally compares things, and you can say categorize things. So most of the people, they are asking like this is where they stand. Like right now, Amazon is on top, then Google, and then Alibaba, Oracle, IBM, and then Trescent, and then they will add more because it's little not latest one, but definitely uh, they will add more into the this sheet. So I hope this was informative, and thank you again. And thank you. I think we need to say goodbye and thank you, because good night and good afternoon, whatever the time it is, and of course good morning to someone, because we have people from different regions. Thank you again.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe and healthy. Have a great week ahead. Don't forget to vote for Bashir. Thank you.
Thank you.